Yeah, we were talking about word of mouth in the criminal underworld. If you fuck somebody over, it spreads like wildfire, and everybody hears about it, and generally it gets handled. That's why people don't fuck up that much. Okay, when they do, they get done many times. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
Okay. The fact that Donald Trump has fucked up so much and then hid behind lawyers, it disgusts me. Absolutely disgusting. And the fact is, Doris Reva, Fred Riva would have been a fucking PC, a protective custody. That's my aunt. I told you my uncle handcuffed me to a tree for 4.5 hours when I was a kid, right?
Is this garbage?
Yeah, it's garbage. Go ahead. Remember when I told you that?
Right.
Okay, what would happen to him in jail?
He would become PC. He would get off GP, general population. He would be escorted everywhere he goes as protection for his safety as well as others. But the others part has nothing to do with it because
it's keeping them from catching a case and
right.
getting even more in trouble. You know, my uncle having such a good reputation to Encinitas, California, and San Diego, North County. Dan Quinn's reputation. I'm not officially a 5-star general. I'm friends with 5-star generals, and I have connects. You know, if I want to across the border, my word is gold. I get fronts of 4 pounds of weed and 3 ounces of coke from Mark Brannon on the strength. If Pete Carroll didn't actually make money on that and pay him back, I'll take care of it, Mark. I'm going to put some money on your books because you did loan me $500 that I never took care of, and I'm sure that would come in handy. I owe you $500. I'm going to be rich. I'm doing a video, John, so be quiet, please. Anyhow, good morning. Top of the morning to you. I'm going to be rich, Doris Reva, and what I'm going to do is reward my mom with a house like yours, overlooking the beach. And if you don't help me get somebody that has cancer, put me in touch with somebody, what I'm going to do is spend some money and use you as the example. You should have actually left Fred. I heard many times from my mom that you were thinking about it. You should have left him, but it was too comfortable, too cushy. You know, they have one of the nicest houses in the valley. My uncle built this house right here is nice. This is a fucking hut compared to what my uncle built.
Right.
Okay, straight up. We're talking about back in the 80s, talking about $1.2 million homes and stuff. And you know how much money that is these days? Buku. Okay?
Now you were saying a hut. Now the big bad wolf huffs and puffs on a brick house too. And that had nothing to do with it, but
you know what? Like he's a rapper and he gets these thoughts in his head, and he's not bad. Okay? Is he that good? He's my friend, and so I'm biased. I'm not going to make an opinion, but he's nowhere near Mozzie.
right.
Okay? But who is? Snubs, my nigga. I listen to your music, and I think you should be going from a revolutionary standpoint. The blacks being oppressed by the whites, put in fucking pins, big pins called ghettos. You know, where there's no hope for most. There's no chance. Wouldn't you agree, Lucky, in the ghettos?
Yes, I would say, see, I grew up from Sacramento, you'll know this. If not, then you heard of us. We're on 47th Avenue and Martin Luther King Boulevard, near Rainbow Park. When I was a kid, about 8 or 9 years old, I went to Pacific Elementary School, down over the overpass, where you can only walk, you cannot drive through. And on that street, that apartment complex that I was at, a young girl got kidnapped from there, and our parents were like, we're asking our parents every time, me and my brothers and sisters, you know, my oldest brother could watch over us and walk us, and she got kidnapped. And my parents heard about it, and we heard about it, but we didn't care. But yeah, we felt that was no threat to us.
Well,
That's
you did care. Okay,
Well,
everybody does to a point, but you didn't know you're young,
right.
and it is what it is. That's what I'm going to put a stop to, ladies. I'm going to get guys that hate child molesters, and we're going to get together. We're going to have little conferences like the rich do at what's the Coconut Grove, Bohemian Grove, where the rich hang out and they plot and they plan. Let's get rid of child molesters and rapists. Have them start driving the trees at 65 to 70 miles an hour. Explosion. Were they awake or were they asleep at the wheel? Who knows? Who knows if a lady dumped a Mickey in a rapist drink and he went to sleep and woke up in hell or heaven, depending on what you believe. What do you think, Alecki?
I would say so. I mean, the person in the 18-wheeler should be the only driver, and maybe his companion, which is a pet, or you can bring along a female.
Alecki, by the way, is stoned as fuck right now.
That is fact.
Out of his gourd.
Facts,
Okay,
facts.
because you're not on as much stevia as I am, so it's affecting your thought process more. Is that right?
Well, honestly, like I would say this about that. My thoughts have been like I think there was quite a few trauma throughout my history of life. I'm 43. I was born 1980, July 31st of July.
Come on.
July. That's John Jay.
John Jay, can you give me some ice, brother?
But anyway, so I would have to agree with Danny's saying about, chomos. And the thing is I was on the yard with a lot of them at these state hospitals. But they were in a position where I was like, okay, this is kind of out of my element, but not
Disgusting.
really. Now, that's disgusting, that part, but I'm talking about the part, Danny, when I was in the Tuscadero and in Norwalk, California at a Metropolitan State Hospital. I was there for about 16 months to a year each time I went there. And I went to the state hospital total about 5 times. And to get time served when I went to court. Now these guys that are in state hospitals, they're brilliant. They're brilliant.
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them, until the ones you meet up to that are just sick. Let's
get back to talking about doing them. About what do you think it would take to get some guys that we know to 86 a chomo, a rapist? It wouldn't take much, would it?
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna have billions, and I'm gonna get shit done. I'm gonna make it happen, and I would be willing. I'll tell you this, and this is the honest to God truth. I would be willing to spend the rest of my life in prison if not one more child or woman was raped.
Check this out, Danny. Didn't mean to cut in like that, but this came to my thought. Like, there's the ones that are actually doing that is like they're actually very, very, very intelligent, because they don't mind going down for whatever they did. So his train of thoughts in court, you have to prove to the court that they were insane at the time of the crime. That's NGI, not guilty by reason of insanity. That's the completion. Now, I've never.
That's what a lot of child molesters do, isn't it?
Yeah. So now here's another thing on that, Danny. Now, see, me going to the state hospital, juvenile hall, YA, and acute lockdown facilities and state hospitals, going to that, then going to prison last and after, because I got out 2015. My CDC number is V as in Victor 60559. So I got out discharged. I was on parole for about maybe a little less than a year or a year, and I was on parole for about for quite a little bit of time. But the thing is, my point is while I was on parole, like not only did I get off but that was the last time I was discharged. Was 2015. That's when I discharged that number. You know, and so 2015. So I've been out 7 years. So nobody told me that, but things come to me like you just grabbing it from the air. But a little whisper in my ear was like this: you go to prison, this is your last stop. It was like, this is your first time here, so you got to make a good impression. Now, that don't mean, so my thought was this, my natural instinct, just be yourself, be who you are. If they don't accept you, then guess what? You're on your own. So, you're on your own, so.
We're at 10 minutes right now, brother.
We're at 10 minutes?
We're at 10 minutes.
Okay, you want to?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to, I've told you about who I know, and we're friends and shit. What does that make me in the criminal underworld? It makes me a potential valuable asset, don't you think, to bring the blacks, the browns, and the whites together?
Danny, it makes you mobile. And here's the thing about bringing blacks and whites together. Honestly, they're still fucked over and hurt from the wounds that the white man they know is over them, is way above over them, but I'm not saying there's no point of linking them together, because we're in a society that's multicultural.
We're gonna have to get along, brother. we're gonna have to get along to make things work.
See, that's the war right there between whites and blacks. You know, when it comes down to it, I understand your version of coming together, link up, and all that, but at the same time, you know, these are gonna be the same people that might be on the news next, and
Well,
see, numbers,
are you talking about the majority of the fucking mass shootings being white males in their early 20s to 30s?
You see how that's a higher ranker of a crime, like going in a mass shooting like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That just goes to tell you that being that's very, very powerful. Powerful statement.
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna pace, and it's like this. To anybody out there that's thinking about doing me harm, I'm a fucking badass motherfucker, and chances are, in hand-to-hand combat, I would kill you. I would knock you out, and if there was no one around and you were trying to do me harm, I would end it. Grab the video.
Okay.
And get a look at me. I've lost how much weight have I lost?
You lost 40 or 60 pounds.
Okay, no, 25.
25?
But you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Quinn, Maitreya. I'm as bad and as good as they come. I'm brilliant. I'm 154 IQ when I was 8 to 12 years old, and I'm friends with the finest people in society, the criminal element. You can't trust whites farther than you can throw most of them. Isn't it true, Lucky, that whites lie, steal, cheat, and then they run behind cops and judges to get away with it?
But a majority of people do too.
Well, not the kind of people I want to hang around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the difference.
So it's like this.
That's the difference.
To everybody who's poor, get some stevia, pay it forward to your local scientist. I want to get stevia splitting water into a natural gas famous. And what I'm going to do is play the violin, touch your G-spot from the top and the bottom at the same time, simultaneously. Hold on for 1 second. I take a pill.
All right.
Here. Come over here so they can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is piggyback stevia, splitting water apart onto the Fountain of Orgasm for Women video.
Yeah.
Right, the bullshit. Just like the best. Look at me.
Oh no.
Just like the best methamphetamine on the planet, you can be in the fucking, is it freezing or is it just cold?
It's cold.
It's cold, but I'm not one bit, okay? Would I do this with this and this? No, but that's gonna be gone. And pay it forward. Dan Quinn is here to save you from the dismal life that you've been living, and everybody's gonna have a good time kicking ass, taking names, and doing away with the rich and go poor.